Kyle Murray is a hydrogeologist at the Oklahoma Geological Survey, the former University of Texas Geology and Environmental Sciences professor and Ph.D., has focused his research over the years on the impacts from pollutants on surface and groundwater. Months ago, when the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality released preliminary data on the samples of water taken from the Red River, Dr. Murray began reviewing the findings to provide an independent assessment. Dr. Murray has also examined the EPA's 209-page interim report on the fish kill. His conclusions have not changed from the start. The most likely suspect for what killed more than 5,000 large catfish and carp was heavy metals.
The aluminum levels that were in the preliminary data set that I received from DEQ were extremely high, and then in the EPA report they are definitely still well above background levels.
While the EPA initially identified heavy metals, including aluminum, magnesium, and manganese, as a possible cause for the fish kill, the interim report changed that. Now the agency is looking at mycotoxin as a possible cause, even though they cannot say how the toxin got in the river or where it came from.
That was a surprise to me. I'm not familiar with mycotoxins, that group of toxins. But after reviewing the document, you can do a word search on mycotoxins, and you find it referenced in the summary, but you don't find the data for it.
Mycotoxins form from fungi that develop on grasses, corn, and other animal feedstocks. The EPA's report shows the results of tests on water and sediment samples taken over a 3-month period. But Dr. Murray says the report has shortcomings.
They've covered a lot of ground in the water and sediment areas, but one thing that does surprise me is that I didn't see any fish samples, tissue samples, that would probably be a more direct route to finding the cause of the fish kill.
This report has been viewed by all of the state agencies involved in the investigation, but all deferred to the Department of Environmental Quality for comment, since it is the lead agency in the case. However, DEQ refused to discuss the report, saying it would be improper to comment even though it directly involves a fish kill the agency is in charge of investigating. Dr. Murray says the EPA's report clearly shows that the Red River at the time of the July 2011 fish kill was carrying an unusually high burden of aluminum.
In some cases, aluminum was an order of magnitude higher than background levels.
Which means the levels of aluminum were as much as 10 times higher than the normal background levels for the river.
Essentially, if anything, any aluminum levels exceed 750 micrograms per liter for a 1-hour period of time, then adverse effects are expected to take place in the aquatic environment.
In nearly every sample, aluminum was above background levels, and in many instances the levels were well above maximum allowable concentrations. And that doesn't address the levels of other heavy metals that were found, metals including arsenic, barium, lead, magnesium, nickel, selenium, and uranium. When fish are exposed to excessive amounts of aluminum, studies show they die quickly.
Toxic to adult fish, which is what we are dealing with in this case, because it accumulates on their gills and interacts with enzymes of the gills and leads to respiratory failure.
The studies on adult carp and catfish show that after exposure to high levels of aluminum, similar to what was found in the Red River, 50% or more died within 48 hours, similar to what witnesses reported seeing on July 4th, 2011.
Thinking, what is going down the river and killing these fish like this? They're fine one day, nothing's wrong with them, and then whatever this is that hits in there, it's killing the fish, and it's bothering them so bad that they're trying to get out on the bank. I mean, they're wanting out of the river.
The EPA also examined at length the strange gel substances that formed in test tubes at the Department of Environmental Quality during the testing process. Their conclusion, those particular samples contained elevated levels of magnesium hydroxide and sodium chloride, even above the aluminum levels. Where it came from and what caused it, the EPA report offers no information. The document also confirms what witnesses reported to authorities when the fish kill first began. Near the Oscar Point area, the water was agitated by strong bubbling, something the EPA calls off-gassing. The report paid special attention to samples from that area and found the following: 14 of the 25 reported heavy metals: methane, butylbenzyl phthalate, used to make PVC pipe; heptadecane, it's an organic compound, an alkaline hydrocarbon; dicambia, a herbicide; dichloropropyl, it's an acid that is identified as a hazardous chemical; carbon disulfide is a volatile liquid that is used in solvents, and all were above background concentrations. The EPA report says it found no definite cause of the fish kill from that analysis. For now at least, exactly what killed all those fish in the Red River in July of last year, and then again in mid-June this year, and where it came from, remains a mystery.